So gerrymandering refers to manipulating a political border for someone's gain. The way that we usually think of gerrymandering is when it comes especially to the House of Representatives. You'll have a state that's being divided into a certain number of districts, and one party will try and draw those districts in a way that they can have the most representation, or I should say they have the highest likelihood of winning more seats and having the most representation to Congress.
Elbridge.
Gerry, I think it was pronounced Gerry and not Gerry, was a governor of Massachusetts. He was one of our kind of forgotten founding fathers. He worked at a lot of different levels of government over his life, but it was when he was governor of Massachusetts in the early 19th century, the state legislature passed a gerrymandered map for its state legislative districts, and he signed it. And I guess there was a lot of uproar at the time. Folks were very angry, and they said that the districts looked like a monster, or one person said they looked like a salamander, and in newspapers they started calling it a gerrymander or gerrymander and drawing like an outline around the district, making it look like a little salamander monster. Yeah, so Congress is just divided into districts. It's just a different designation from a county, and districts are supposed to, in a state, be pretty equally representative. So ideally, a district would really represent its area, and the state would be divided into several districts, maybe some rural, some urban, and each one would represent a group of the population, so that when you vote for your representative, your vote counts and it helps elect someone that hopefully reflects the views of the district. So there are two ways generally that we refer to gerrymandering happening. People call them cracking and stacking. So cracking means that if you have a population, let's say you have an area with a large African American population, you try and divide that population between as many different districts as you can. And so they are a minority vote in each district, and they do not wind up electing a African American representative or someone who represents that group. Stacking is the opposite, and this is something we see a lot, which is you're taking all of the people who are likely to vote one way and putting them in one district, and then surrounding that district you can have 3 or 4 other districts that will vote a different way. So rather than kind of apportioning people equally between districts, you get these really strange drawn districts that maybe only represent African American voters, and then around that you have 3 or 4 districts that represent white voters. For the most part, state legislatures are the ones that draw up boundaries for Congress. They also are involved in, drawing their own districts, so there can be gerrymandering at the state level. So in the Constitution, Congress laid out that states will draw their districts for the House of Representatives, and every 10 years they will change those districts so that they better reflect the population. And so that's why every 10 years you see a big conversation about redistricting, which is redrawing those districts, and gerrymandering, which is trying to draw the districts to your advantage. There have been calls to stop gerrymandering, and I think there are a lot of people who think we would be better off without it, right? But when you are working in politics, if there's something that can play to your advantage, if there's power that can be grabbed, people are going to try and grab it. So I don't think that either political party has really considered stopping this system. There are ways that we could curb gerrymandering. Increasingly, computers are both the problem and the solution. People have software that can help them really effectively gerrymander districts. But you also, if you could agree on what the parameters for a district are, you could use technology and computers to draw much better districts than we have and much fairer districts, but you're not seeing that happen much in the US.